Living in the time of COVID-19 with schools being closed and kids at home, child welfare advocates fear there's a higher risk for child abuse.
This is a difficult time because we're all distanced from one another.
Maura Guten, CEO of the Child Abuse Network, says there's been a drop in child abuse reports to the state hotline since the coronavirus outbreak. It's not because abuse isn't happening.
The main reporters of child abuse and neglect, 60%, I think, of all the cases that are reported come from law enforcement, teachers, and family members, and we're all distanced from those people right now.
Having less contact makes it harder to spot the physical signs of abuse, such as bruising or unexplained cuts. However, Guten says you can watch out for these things virtually when you're on video call.
It's so important for educators and counselors to keep an eye out for things that don't seem typical with those children, and not just with the child, but what's going on in the background as well.
It's not just physical signs to look out for.
The age inappropriate, maybe sexual knowledge or behavior, acting out, things like that, or kids telling stories that really don't jive with what the injuries might be.
Experts say it's important to have a routine to avoid getting stressed out and prevent behaviors that could lead to child abuse, especially during this pandemic.
Getting a lot of rest, a lot of exercise, keeping a pretty typical routine. Obviously, it's going to be different, but having some consistency.
The center is bracing for an increase in the number of cases this year. It's working closely with local law enforcement, social workers, and health professionals to provide a safe place for child abuse investigations. Guten says ultimately it's about awareness and making sure kids know who to turn to.
Really, it's having a safe person that they can go to, that they trust, and that's what we try to really harp on for kids, is to tell somebody that they trust.
Reporting in Tulsa, Gitzel Puente, 2 Works for You.
And if you suspect there might be harm or neglect to a child, please call the Oklahoma Child Abuse Hotline. The number is 1-800-522-3511. If the child is in immediate danger, of course, call 911.